His daughter had a young girl, Anna Rose, was born last night, 6 pounds, 7 ounces. We were having dinner with Rick. He got the word. He was out of here, run home, and on the way to the hospital, he was speeding and got pulled over. But he told the officer the story, and he let him go. So a good omen. So, but the little Anna Rose was born last night, 6 pounds, 7 ounces. So that's a blessing. So Rick is not with us today. And then John Esparza he's at Palm Springs, so let's all feel sorry for John. He had a wedding to attend, so he's not with us. So
we don't know where Ron is.
We haven't seen Ron.
Haven't seen. He may walk in a minute.
We might want to check on Ron. Ben? Maybe he was he with you, Dr. Lang, last night?
There was a strong rumor.
The meeting of the Board of Regents Texas Tech University System is now called to order. The board will continue in open session and meet as a committee of the whole and meeting of the board. Chancellor Duncan, President May, President Nellis, President Mitchell, and President Lang, will you please do the introductions and recognitions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. I have one recognition today, but one that I'm really proud to make. I'd like to recognize Dr. Rick Lane this morning. I want to congratulate him on recently being named or included among the best doctors in America list for 2015-2016. Only 5% of doctors in America earn this honor. It's decided by an impartial peer review. Doctors who excel in their specialties are selected by peers in their profession. The result of polling of more than was the result of a polling of more than 40,000 physicians across the country. And by the way, I'm sure Dr. Lang will have this in his report, but he wasn't the only physician from Texas Tech University Health Science Center in El Paso to be named to this prestigious list. So another indication of the high quality of folks we have here at the Texas Tech University system. Congratulations, Dr. Lang.
Thank you, Chancellor. President May.
I have no introduction.
Okay. President Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I'd like to introduce Angela Lumpkin. Dr. Lumpkin. She's chairperson of the Department of Kinesiology and Sports Management. The Kinesiology and Exercise Science graduate programs were recently ranked number 6 in the nation by graduateprograms.com. Dr. Lumpkin's graduate students said that graduate students appreciate faculty mentors who genuinely enjoy helping them succeed. Dr. Lumpkin, we appreciate that you and your fellow professors provide such an enriching and worthwhile experience for your graduate students. Congratulations to your whole department. Next, I'd like to recognize Courtney Myers with the Department of Agricultural Education and Communication. At a recent Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities conference, this was the national conference, Dr. Myers received the Excellence in Teaching Award by the APLU, that was in Indianapolis, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food, and Agricultural Sciences Award for Excellence in Teaching. Dr. Myers was chosen from a nationwide pool of candidates who have taught for 7 years or less at the collegiate level. We really appreciate her dedication to Texas Tech University and our students. Thank you, Dr. Myers, for all that you do for Texas Tech, and congratulations. Also with the College of Agricultural Science and Natural Resources, please welcome Dr. Mark Miller and representatives from the 2015 National Champion Meat Judging Team. So if they'd stand, please. This is the team's 4th national championship in the past 5 years. Dr. Miller's assistant coaches are Bo Hutto from Hondo, Texas, and Dan Cronover from Italy, Texas. Both assistant coaches are meat science graduate students. With the coaches, I'm also very proud to introduce Aaron Beyer. Aaron was the first team All-American and high individual at the national championship competition. Aaron is a junior food science major from Brookshire, Texas. And we're really proud of her. And so let's congratulate our national championship team. Finally, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ryan Rathman and Kylan Carson, representing the 2015 National Champion Livestock Judging Team. This is the team's 8th national title win. A big thank you to Dr. Rathman and Kylan for their outstanding work in coaching, preparing, and supporting these students to this victory. At this year's championship, Dr. Rathman was also named National Coach of the Year. To further celebrate the livestock and meat judging team's accomplishments, these 2 victories mark the 4th time Texas Tech has won the national championship in meat and livestock judging in the same year. Tech is the only school in the nation to achieve this feat. Please join me again in congratulating these teams. And this concludes my introductions.
Thank you. President Mitchell?
I have no introductions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. President Lang?
No, sir. No.
Thank you. Thank you for those introductions and recognitions. The meeting of the Board of Regents is now called to order. The board will continue in open session to meet as a committee of the whole and meeting of the board. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the board meetings held on October 8th and 9th, 2015? So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second? All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. We will now consider items as committee of the whole, and I would ask the vice chairman to proceed over the committee of the whole. Regent Montford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The item 12B1, ASU, TTU Health Sciences Center, TTU Health Sciences Center El Paso, and TTU system, and approve the consent agenda and acknowledge review of information agendas. The item is in consideration of the consent agenda items A through L, including the item added as H-1, as listed on pages 1 through 20 of the agenda book, and on the information agenda as listed on pages 21 through 24 of the agenda book. Is there any discussion of the items in either of these agendas? As a reminder, if there is an item that you would like discussed in further detail or voted on separately from the consent agenda, you may request that that item be moved to the committee of the whole agenda. Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve the consent agenda and acknowledge its review of the information agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Regent Montford, please continue.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the items to be considered by the committee of the whole at this time.
Thank you. The board will continue meeting in open session to consider reports to the standing committees. Regent Francis is not with us, so Regent Montford, will you present the items considered for action by the Finance Administration Committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Administration Committee of the Board met in open session on Thursday, December 10th, 2015, and considered items 1 through 8 as presented on pages FA-1 through FA-32 of the agenda book. The following items be considered and approved as a group. ASU Item 1, approve. I request the assessment schedule effective fall semesters 2016 and 2017. Item 2, TTU, approve fee assessment schedule effective fall semesters 2016 and 2017. Item 3, TTU Health Sciences Center, approve fee assessment schedule effective fall semesters 2016 and 2017. TTU Health Sciences Center, El Paso, approve fee assessment schedule effective fall semester 2016 and 2017. Item 5, TTU, authorize engagement of consulting services for national. TTU HSC, authorize president to execute contracts for electronic medical record partnership. TTU Health Sciences Center, El Paso, approve agreement with Cerner to purchase ambulatory electronic medical record, EMR. The committee also accepted the following report. TTUS, report on bond status and credit rating. Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends approval of the items as presented, and I so move.
Do I hear a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Please continue.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the report of the Finance and Administration Committee.
Thank you. Chairman Lancaster, will you present the items considered for action by the Academic, Clinical, and Student Affairs Committee?
Committee of the Board met in open session on Thursday, December 10th, 2015, and considered items 1 through 4 as presented on pages ACS-1 through ACS-6 of the agenda book. I request that the following items be considered and approved as a group. Item 1, TTU, approve appointments with tenure. Item 2, TTU, approve Bachelor of Business Administration degree with a major in Supply Chain Management in the Jerry Rawls College of Business. Item 3, TTU, approve exception to Section 3.01.11.c, Regents Rules as revised. Item 4, TTU HSC El Paso, approve appointment with tenure. Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends approval of the items as presented, and I so move.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please continue.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the report of Academic, Clinical, and Student Affairs Committee.
Thank you. Chairman Steinmetz, will you present the items considered for action by the Audit Committee?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. The Audit Committee of the Board met in open session on Thursday, December 10th, 2015, considered items 1 as presented on A1 through A3 of the agenda book. I request the following items be considered and approved. The committee accepted the reports of item 1, TTU System Report on Audits. Mr. Chairman, the Audit Committee also convened an executive session at which time no items were considered or approved. Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends approval of the item as presented, and I so move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please continue.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the report of the Audit Committee.
Thank you. Chairman Anders, will you present the items considered for action by the Facilities Committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Facilities Committee of the Board met in open session on Thursday, December 10th, 2015, and considered items 1 through 3 as presented on pages F1 through F6 of the agenda book. I request that the following items be considered and approved as a group. TTU, Item 1, approve a project to construct the Sports Performance Center. Item 2, TTU, approve scope, expansion, and budget increase to the Jones AT&T Stadium North End Zone Building Renovation Project. Mr. Chairman, the committee also accepted the following report. Item 3, TTU System, report on facilities planning and construction projects. Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends approval of the items as presented, and I so move.
Do I hear a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Please continue.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the report of the Facilities Committee.
Thank you, Chairman Anders. We will continue meeting of the committee as the committee of the whole and meeting of the board. Ben, please present the schedule of upcoming board meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's only one bit of scheduling to do today. The board had previously approved meetings in February, May, August, and December of 2016. And today we need to finalize a date for a meeting in October of 2016. You were notified about the proposed date earlier, which would be Thursday and Friday, October 13 and 14 of 2016. So.
Very good. Thank you. Chancellor Duncan, please present your report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. It's been a week since we publicly announced our intention to develop a veterinary medicine, School of Medicine, and doctoral program in the Texas Tech University system. This comes after about 50 years of discussion. And the reason that it comes about now is because we really are mature in the way that we have developed our College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, as demonstrated by our teams here. The quality of students and instruction that we have there is not surpassed anywhere in the country. We also have developed an outstanding model in the Health Science Center arena, where we utilize our regional resources to educate students and to provide healthcare professionals throughout the country. I want to congratulate Dr. Nellis and his team and Dr. Mitchell and his team on coming up with a plan that we believe has much viability to provide health professionals, veterinary health professionals in the agriculture community, in particular in food animal production and food safety and also biosecurity. We believe we have the assets here in our system to provide that. I think something else is different than in the 60s when we talked about this earlier, is the fact that our Health Science Center has developed a really strong program in Amarillo. And Amarillo is the perfect place for a four-year veterinary school, especially with the emphasis that we plan to place in designing that program. Our plan is to work with the industry, to work with other veterinarian schools, to develop a program that satisfies the needs of the food animal industry and the mixed animal industry in the rural areas of the state. There is a shortage of veterinary medicine professionals in those areas, and that's one that we have already proven through our Health Science Center and the success that they've had, that we can satisfy that concern and fill that need. So you'll hear more from us in the future, but I just want to, as you've been following this publicly and privately as we've briefed you on this in the past, we look forward to the coming year as we roll this plan out, develop it, and present it to the coordinating board and the legislature in the coming years, or in the coming year. I want to give you a little bit of a philanthropic update. As you know, we are in the process of restructuring our philanthropic approach from a major campaign to a campaign for sustained philanthropy. And that requires us to develop our back house. It requires us to think a little bit differently about especially our core philanthropic opportunities. And I'm pleased to announce to you that even though we're just starting this concept, that since September 1st, we're about $13.5 million ahead of where we would have been on these core types of philanthropic gifts. Those would be gifts that are under $10 million. We're working on major areas in visual and performing arts right now. The veterinary medicine program will involve significant philanthropy, and we intend to work with each one of our colleges to develop significant philanthropy programs to address their needs. We believe that will be a successful program for us, and it will begin what we call sustained philanthropy that will continue. It won't be a campaign after campaign. It will be philanthropy that continues to support the excellence of this university system. The final thing I have in my report is strategic planning. Every year we do strategic planning, usually in February or March. Last time in our strategic planning meeting, we made several major steps, but two I just want to mention because I want to emphasize the importance of strategic planning. The first was for Texas Tech University to become a Hispanic-serving university. I know Dr. Nellis and his team have really made some progress along those lines, but it takes those sorts of strategic planning meetings and thinking forward to accomplish that. The second thing that we accomplished was something you voted on today, and that was the implementation of a differential tuition model for this university to help us compete better with our own peers in the state as well as with our peers across the country. Our strategic planning will take place in the February board meeting, as you know, and we will present different ideas to you, and we will also entertain your ideas as we go forward in preparing for that. So having said that, that concludes my report. It's a good time to be a member of the Texas Tech University system.
Thank you, Chancellor. President May.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Regents. Angelo State University's Air Force ROTC program has been recognized for excellence by the U.S. Air Force with the 2015 Right of Line Award as the top detachment in the nation this year. This marks the first national honor for the ASU detachment after winning the High Flight Awards for the top detachment in the region of 2007, 10, 12, 13, and 15. It was a big honor and certainly well-deserved. Dr. Leslie Cazares, an assistant professor at Angelo State University's Department of Curriculum and Instruction, has been named the Counseling Educator of the Year by the Texas School Counselors Association. She was recognized in November at the TSCA's Professional Growth Conference in Corpus Christi. She joined our staff in 2010 and became faculty in 2013, is now an advisor of the ASU Masters of Education in Guidance and Program. Under her leadership, there has been many awards received by this department as well as her program. For the 7th consecutive year, Angelo State University has also been designated as a military-friendly school, joining our colleagues at Texas Tech by the GI Jobs magazine, which serves military personnel transitioning into civilian life. The 2016 Military Friendly School lists honors to the top U.S. colleges and universities and trade schools that are doing a good job to embrace America's military service members, veterans, and their spouses. I also want to announce that we have added 2 generals to our staff and our faculty, further embracing the military. One's a 3-star, one's a 2-star in our security studies program. Angelo State University's Department of Physics and Geosciences program has been listed among the top 74 programs in the United States by conferring the largest number of undergraduate physics degrees according to statistics by the American Institute of Physics. Overall, the ASU Physics program ranked number 20 and was the only undergraduate program in Texas to be recognized. Angelo State University's fall theater production of the dramatic comedy Keeping Abreast, Keeping Abreast, was named Respondent's Choice at the State Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival as a result of being considered for invitation to the 2016 Kennedy Center Festival and will be hosted by ASU in February. Additionally, the Kennedy Center jurors named another ASU drama production of the comedy Expecting Isabel as a respondent's choice and making it eligible as well. And finally, the ASU intramural football teams. I know that sounds kind of out there to recognize them. We've always recognized our athletic teams as doing very well, but we have exceptional intramural teams. They competed in at the regional championship, the co-ed and the women team winning first. The co-ed team beat UT Arlington to win the championship, and the women's team beat Texas A&M University to win that championship. Both teams will go to the national championship in January at the University of West Florida in Pensacola. And I would like to announce that they have won that championship in Pensacola 5 times each, beating D1 teams. So we're really proud of our intramurals. Sorry? What sport? Flag football. Okay. I thought y'all understood that. Did I not say that?
We did.
I think everybody did but Ted. That's
Most
all right.
of us did
We're used to
understand
catching
that.
you up. All right. Thank y'all very much. A ballerina. I mean, how can he even think where he is or who he is?
Jared, please share your comments with us.
I don't know how I can follow up on that. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to the Chancellor and the Regents. I'll get to my PowerPoint here in 2 seconds. First off, I kind of want to mention the mugs that you have placed in front of you. That's kind of just a thank you from our SGA. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We just want to thank you for all you do for our system, for my university and for all the other universities. And as administrators, thank you for all you do for your universities. First off, I always like to recognize who's in attendance today. From Angelo State, so we have Haley Rhodes, my vice president. Peyton LeBove, he's our president pro tempore. Most of you have met these two already. They're regulars. Then we have one of our 2 senators here today is Morgan Lira. She's a psychology major, and she represents the psychology department. Then we have Landon Harvey. He is a management and marketing major. He is also, for that, he represents that department. I really want to express kind of the importance of why we bring senators with us. When they come, they learn a lot. Every single time I talk to them on the way home or afterwards or after the first section of the meeting, especially coming to the first day, getting to see all the stuff that's happening within our system and Texas Tech and as a whole, they love it. They love to be able to see what's going on, and so I really like the education part of it. So that's why we bring them, in case some of you were wondering why we have random students sitting there on the first day. through the entire thing. Okay, so next off, I want to recognize our athletic teams. Student athletes are one of our proudest members of our university, so I wanted to recognize them. Our Rams football team ended their season with a win against Eastern New Mexico in the Lone Star Conference playoffs for 3rd place. Our Bells volleyball team finished their season with winning the Lone Star Conference tournament and placing 2nd in the regional tournament. Our Bells soccer team finished as Lone Star Conference champs and advanced into the regional tournament, where they lost out there. Rams basketball is currently 9-0. Last night we were able to watch them here in Lubbock. It was really neat. They played LCU and they won in overtime. Really exciting game. We want to thank everybody who came out, especially Regent Anders. Thank you for coming out and seeing ASU play. It was a really exciting game. Right? It definitely came close. It was a close game, but we're glad that you were able to make it. Next off is, well, if you'll turn your attention to the slides. This is kind of some events I'm going to run through, give you a little bit of visual. I'm a very visual person. So homecoming this year, as I left y'all last time, it was October. Y'all were going into homecoming, and then we were us two the next week. So some of the traditions are seen there. One of the newest traditions you'll notice in the middle of the screen with the candle is Ram Remembrance. So it's a new program that SGA kind of helps push forward, and it's just a remembrance for all of our students, faculty, staff, and alumni who have passed within the past year. So we did that. The families are welcome to come. All the students come. We light blue tea candles in honor of them. It's a really neat program. I see it growing in the future. We also won homecoming, so that was really neat, against Texas A&M University Kingsville, and we were able to be in the parade. So that was those, and that's our massive bonfire. Next thing was actually went too far. Next thing was a initiative from SGA, and it was getting our own Snapchat filters. So if you can see on the screen, there's 3 different ones. Most of them actually all of them were made by a student. Her name was Allison Romo. Really great designs. Didn't really have much input because she had all the designs in her head. One of our committee chairs, Patrick Chackles, he also played a huge role in it. As you can see, students used them immediately once they came out. It was a huge thing. They hit Snapchat and they just took off. It hit around around homecoming, so it was perfect timing. As you can see, those students throwing up powder, that was a new event also for homecoming. It's called Blue and Gold Party, and so a lot of students used it then to express their ASU pride during homecoming. And one of them features actually the historic Concho Hall, and it's seen on the most right-hand picture there during homecoming. So the next part was our rivalry game against Tarleton State. We won, which was great. But we were able to connect with Tarleton State's SGA, and we did kind of a peace offering. So right before the game started, we met with Laura Rylant, which is the president of Tarleton State. And we did a little peace offering. Basically, what both SGAs agreed to do was to donate to a food bank on behalf of the other. So it was really neat, really super easy. We were able to network, talk about current issues on each other's campuses. And then afterwards, we held, SGA always hosts a 5th quarter once a year. And so students are allowed to come out to 3 Parrots Taco Shop, and the first 300 people get a free taco. So, and we teamed up with IFC and Panhellenic to be able to do that. Next is one of it's not a new tradition, but it's a new location tradition. We light up the Memorial Oak Grove for our ASU Christmas tree lighting. It started out as an SGA Christmas tree lighting, but we changed the name because we feel like it needs to be an all-encompassing thing. So we include all sorts of different departments, Greek life, student affairs, all sorts of different departments, and different student organizations participate in it. Our program council hosts an ice skating rink, so it's a synthetic ice skating rink, so it's kind of like a Rockefeller Center. Music is playing. We have a symphony playing. The ASU Symphony is playing. And it's a great community family event. Tons of community. 300 plus are at least there. Really, really neat. Picture opportunities are available too, and like the snow globe that you can see there to the right. The next thing that we did was something, is called the SGA Thankwit. We kind of coined that term. It was kind of supposed to be a Thanksgiving dinner, but we ended up doing it afterwards, so we made it a thankwit. So that's not all of our senators, that's about half. With finals and everything coming up, a lot of them had stuff to do, so we just had a little get-together, had some dinner, and got to honor some hardworking senators while doing that. Next semester, What we have planned is to start our student endowment campaign. So we're going to start raising money for giving a student a scholarship. That will start in late February. There's many bills that senators are willing to present. There's about, I would say, 5 or 6 that are coming. Minor cleaning up of our election code and constitution, and elections for office in April. So that'll come up rapidly. And lastly, that's my last slide, but lastly, I want to say thank you to my administration at Angelo State. Thank you to Dr. May, Dr. Flores, Dr. Topliff, and Mrs. Wright for they're very transparent and helpful. I can't express to y'all how amazing they are when it comes to expressing the students' needs and something getting done, or them hearing us out all the time. So it always makes my job 1,000 times easier and SGA's job 1,000 times easier. And also thank you to Regent Messer for your dedication to the students. We have complete faith in you, and thank you for always communicating with us and wanting to meet with us. That's something that I think is awesome about our student regent, and being able to. She is always in contact with us. She's always communicating. She's always expressing her interest in certain things. Hey, look at this. Make sure that you're doing this. Make sure you're on top of things. And she's awesome. So just wanted to thank you for that. And that concludes my report. I'll take any questions if there's any.
Well, thank you for your kind comments. Y'all know what Snapchat is, right?
No? Okay.
I told her you.
Okay.
I told her you would all know. Wow.
This is a real neat thing and a real big deal, and you guys are doing such a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll get y'all hooked up with Snapchat.
Yeah, it's an app. Wow. And you just take pictures, and it's posted on social media for like 1 day, pretty much.
Mr. Chairman, I want to compliment these students. So Angie and I were sitting together at the game last night. They go to virtually every athletic event, and they keep their grades, and they were actually louder than the LCU fans last night. So they were really full of spirit. So it was really fun to watch them last evening.
Are you going to Las Vegas to the? Isn't there a basketball tournament this weekend, Brian, in Las Vegas?
If Dr. May will take me, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure he'll pay your way. I'm sure that he will pay your way. Now,
Right?
I know that Angie's going, so.
Right? Right? Right. Talk to the CFO, that's funny.
I would like to add that if this group is the future of America, America's in great hands.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jared.
Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared.
President Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Regents. It's a pleasure to give you an update on a few things. First of all, I want to start off by probably the biggest news, which is earlier this week, Texas Tech was fully reaccredited as part of its 10-year review by SAC-COC, and so we're very excited about that. And really, I want to applaud my staff, starting with the provost, with Noel Sloan, Dr. Munoz, and many others contributed in various ways. It really is a campus effort. It's a major effort. You think of the size of Texas Tech University to contribute and make sure we meet all the standards that are associated with SAC-COC, and so it is certainly something that we're very, very proud of. Thank you. So 4 meetings ago, I had the chance, the meeting right after our last strategic planning session, to focus on our Hispanic Serving Institution initiatives and how we are moving forward on that. I know our applications this year are significantly up as we continue to try to position ourselves to qualify for a Hispanic Serving Institution. Our graduate enrollment, again, is significantly up. That was the second theme that I focused on at a recent Regents meeting. The last meeting, I gave you a handout on our research efforts, which I think are positioning us for significant growth in that area. Today, I want to focus on our infrastructure and space planning just from a strategic perspective, because this is such an important part as we grow the quality and size of Texas Tech University. Certainly, and this is really more of an overview of the process that we're following. Effective space planning certainly requires that we be analytical, where we really are focused on maximizing our resources. We treat our financial resources very carefully. We engage the campus community because we need to have a transparent process as we move our space planning forward. We have a facilities allocation committee, a space allocation committee. We do lab utilization reviews. We also, as you look at our facilities inventory management, This is an ideal time to be focusing on this with the increases in HEAF funding, which we certainly appreciate from the legislature, including the tuition revenue bond increase at $70 million. And you've had reviews recently of our space usage efficiency and campus condition index values. All of that feeds into this process. So one of the things that we're particularly proud of here at Texas Tech is, and we think we're ahead of many other universities, is that we have developed software, programming, dashboards, and analytics to really look at our space utilization in a very systematic way. We have, in fact, we're actually looking at commercializing this software package that we've developed at Texas Tech for our space planning. But we have comparisons with other peer institutions. We have campus data metrics, we have building data metrics, room data metrics, college department, all relative to our peer institutions. And so that's very, very helpful. The coordinating board space projection model, that's integrated into this, and our internal space model as well. And so by doing that, it gives us, and this is just an example of the type of information that we get through this process, so that we can be much more analytical about this, looking at what the dashboard tells us we should have relative to a certain college or department, the actual amount of square footage and the differential, not only in teaching, research, office space, and we can drill down even further than that. We can look at our space utilization efficiency as far as the barometers there in the bottom left corner. We can look at space utilization during different times of the day and different times of the week, so that we can make sure that we're maximizing the utilization of our classrooms, our laboratories, et cetera. Because we often hear that, well, there's just not classrooms for these types of classes, and then find that, well, it's because everyone wants to schedule their classes between 10 and 2 o'clock. And so the early mornings and the late afternoons on many days of the week, there's plenty of space to utilize more efficiently for our educational research purposes. So by doing this, it provides us with multi-level benchmarking, a global perspective. It balances needs between departments rather than just shooting from the hip. A lot of universities, they have somebody who manages space, and they make decisions kind of off the cuff based on what they know. But this is very, very strategic and objective decision making. And it provides unique space requirements that can be addressed much earlier in the project schedule. And so when we have emergencies like what happened with the fire that we had recently, we were able to quickly adjust to provide temporary space for the needs of our campus and create more of a strategic alignment. And also when we have vacated space, when we have people adjusting from one older building to a newer building, we quickly can backfill that space and be more successful in meeting the needs of our college and department's growth in student numbers as well as in research and outreach. So the goals are to increase, again, our research space coordination to manage growth. It's very, very important, and we've been engaging the deans and departments in that process, certainly our office space as well. Increase available office space to address growth in strategic areas. We need to have make sure we have swing space that's a minimum we estimate at 4,000 square feet. We need to improve teaching space efficiency. That's something that we've worked on hard the last couple of years, and increase the available core campus space for college student services like counseling or other types of support systems that are significant to us. Examples of our current opportunity, again, are the new ESB 2, which you've approved planning for, our core science labs. Rather than duplicating the purchase of equipment across our university, which is very, very expensive, we want to develop core laboratory facilities so we can have common lab, research lab areas that will be shared facilities across the university. We, of course, are working on our new, the Maddox Engineering Research Center. That will help significantly in modification of other buildings. Weeks Hall is in the planning stages for just very preliminary planning stages. And, of course, the new systems building will provide us an opportunity to meet some of our expanded needs in areas like the quality enhancement project that is part of our reaccreditation. So again, I just wanted to make you aware of the systematic way in which we manage our space, infrastructure resources, and certainly appreciate your support in that process. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nellis. Holton?
Thank you, Chairman Long and President Nellis, for the opportunity to speak to you all this morning in the light of graduation this afternoon and tomorrow. So I know those students are really excited for that, and we're looking forward to it as well. I just wanted to share a few things with you guys that we've been working on in the past, I guess, 2 or 3 months since we've seen you last. First off, we had our Student Government Association Pack to Jones watch party. So we watched an away game and brought our own blankets, hung out a little bit, and got to watch Texas Tech play. I guess October, what was it? No, it was November 7th. That's what it was. So it was a fun experience. Had the opportunity to get to hang out. It's an event we've been working on the last few years. We partnered with the RISE department, also with athletics. Their generous opportunity to allow us to hang out on the field shows how much you truly care about students, and allowing us to be able to utilize a facility like that on a day where they didn't anticipate it being utilized. So we appreciated that and the opportunity to have that experience. And we grew that event's numbers from about 150 to about 500. And I know a lot of other students were looking forward to coming next year in hopes that it continues on. So we appreciated that. Second, we had the Big 12 Student Government Association Conference that was held in UT Austin about 3 weeks ago. So we had the opportunity to go visit with other student government associations from across the Big 12, talk about concerns, issues that we felt were on the rise within student associations across the country, as we do have West Virginia reach, and then also across the Midwest and Iowa. So we met together and planned for the Big 12 on the Hill Conference we hold in the spring, where we'll be visiting Washington, D.C., visiting representatives and in different areas. And so that's going to be a great opportunity. We're looking forward to that, and had a great experience getting to know SGAs and networking with those guys across the Big 12. Third, also had the opportunity to work with Provost Skuvenik in the last few weeks on the Campus Carry Task Force. That was something that I appreciate as a student, having that voice and having the opportunity to poll and engage the student interests and concerns, and being able to bring those to the table in that committee and know that they'll be heavily considered was something that I much appreciate. And all those on the committee, I appreciate their work and their consideration of the student thoughts, because that was something that was very apparent in that committee, and that was something big for me, and I know big for all students across the university. So I appreciate that. And your interest in understanding my concerns, whether it was an email or the survey results or whatever it may be. I appreciate you reaching out and always being there for us. Another big topic was differential tuition on campus, and that was something that I know we've worked very heavily with the Office of the President on, and they've worked with us and educated us on that all the way back in our beginning stages of administration in August. And I appreciated their transparency working with us in that. I know at first we were a little hesitant because we didn't understand our personal policy and how we were going to look into it and address it. And I'm going to say that it's a very great system, one that I know that I'm very confident in as a student who will be having those fees not only assessed to myself, but also to my brother who's a year younger, and also to a sister who's looking to come to Texas Tech in the business school. So be in reach of that. She's coming through admissions, Rylan Westbrook. Please remember that. But I know that's a big concern for us, and I know that the students within those different colleges have had great dialogue with administration, and we've had the opportunity to truly share our concerns there as well, to even further mirror the fact that our administration here at Texas Tech really cares about the students and the voice that we're blessed to have the opportunity to share with them. So I appreciate that again, Ms. Sloan, and allowing us to work with you in regards, and Chris Cook in helping us address the communication concerns that may come with that. So we're looking to educate the student body on that as we continue forward with this, hopefully as it approaches in the next few days, and also next few months as we work with students on it. And then one more thought was Tech to Town is an event that we have talked about a few times here, and something that's finally coming to fruition. I do want to say first off, Missy Courier, as well as Office of the President and various organizations on campus, Councilman Griffith, as well as the Chamber have worked with us in order to create this event in the spring and April, where we're going to have the opportunity to go out into the community and do service projects for one day. We're looking to have 500 to 1,000 students working on that and being involved in it, so we're really excited for that. I know the city's excited for that too. It's free work, so we're looking forward to helping out and working with the community and getting to go out and make a difference and leave an impact and thank the community for what, not only, realizing we go to school here, but realizing what they do for us beyond that. So looking forward to that coming to fruition for the first time in history, and we'll be updating you that, I guess, in February whenever it continues to grow and come to fruition. But I did want to appreciate and share that Missy Courier has definitely done a lot for us and helped us in that regard in the Office of the President, and we appreciate that. But beyond that, I think that's about it. I'll stop talking so you guys can move forward. But I appreciate the opportunity you give for us, much like Jared had said, to speak with you and share our concerns and really work with us. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the rest of our student body, because student voice is something that sometimes may be taken for granted, but not here at Texas Tech. So I truly appreciate that, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Any questions? Sorry.
Any questions for Holden?
No.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Mitchell, please present your report.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to defer my time to Dr. Michael Kahn. I've introduced him to this board before.
Sure.
He's going to give you guys a quick update on some of the research efforts we have going on at the HSC.
Great.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here today. Because of the time and effort that goes into research as well as the cost, one of the things we think about a lot is, why do we do biomedical research at all? And we do it to improve our lives. There was a study by the Lasker Foundation that suggested that the return on investment for research is actually between $6 to $8 for every dollar invested. Put simply, our lives are longer and healthier than those of our grandparents and great-grandparents. And it's also true that our pets and our agricultural animals benefit as a result of biomedical research. Also, it's been shown that research dollars recycle in the local community, depending which study you look at, anywhere from 3 to 6 times. So they're good for the local economy. And finally, research is the basis of innovation and entrepreneurship. That's where new companies come from. That's where new ideas come from. I'm happy to report that over the last 2 fiscal years, beginning in 13, then 14 and 15, we have seen a growth of about 25% per year in extramural funding. This is as a result of outstanding efforts on the part of the faculty, changes in the way we do business, and the overall enthusiasm for research at HSC. Now, this has happened in the face of a relatively static National Institutes of Health budget. This is our main funder. So what it means is that the pie is staying the same size, but we're getting a bigger chunk of it, and that's a very good thing. There's a number of individuals in particular who have been extremely valuable to the institution, and we have received in the last 3 months 3 new patents, and this is remarkable in light of the fact that for the last 5 years we only received 1. One of the individuals who is here with us today is Dr. Siddiqui, and I would ask Dr. Siddiqui to rise. Dr. Siddiqui holds the highest academic rank of Grover Murray Professor that HSC bestows on its faculty. He has been working toward developing a vaccine against the human parasitic disease schistosomiasis. This vaccine could potentially impact 1 billion people globally. While at HSC, he has obtained over $11.5 million in peer-reviewed grant support for his research, and presently he's supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and I would mention that this is our first Gates Award. So if you'd be kind enough to recognize Dr. Siddiqui. I've listed up here 2 additional patents that we have been granted in the last couple of months, one from Dr. Preen and Dr. Penrose, addressing sex selection in agricultural animals, and one from Dr. Kobos and his colleagues that has also been licensed. And licensing is, of course, the way to moving these things forward. I mentioned that Dr. Siddiqui was our first Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation awardee. The other individual who's here with us today is Dr. Kevin Pruitt. If Dr. Pruitt would kindly rise. Dr. Pruitt was recruited as a rising star in the CPRIT award program. Dr. Pruitt received his BS degree in chemical engineering from UT at Austin, followed by post-baccalaureate research training in biological sciences at Los Alamos National Laboratory. He then moved to the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill for doctoral studies in pharmacology in 2001, followed by postdoctoral training at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in Baltimore. Dr. Pruitt has received numerous research awards during his career. He's a member of the National Cancer Institute Genetic Study Section and maintains a funded laboratory. He joined our physiology department, he joined the physiology department at LSU Health Sciences Center in 2006, and then he relocated here to HSC in 2014. If you'd be kind enough to recognize Dr. Pruitt. We've also increased the number of collaborative interactions that HSC now has with other members of the system, including our first Small Business Research Innovation Award in collaboration with TTU. The Chancellor has started an initiative that will partner us, HSC, with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at TTU, and in association with Dr. Skuvanek, the Provost at TTU, and deans at TTU, we've now established a number of joint degrees in our Graduate School of Biologic Sciences with the School of Business. 2 of them are in the School of Business, and 1 is a joint degree with the TTU School of Law. The other thing that's been a very exciting change for us is that we have now received full accreditation from an organization called AHARP. AHARP accreditation indicates that we follow rigorous standards for ethics, quality, and protection of human research subjects. When you earn this seal, and this took us a little over a year to do, you earn a place in the world's most respected, trustworthy research organizations. Now, this is something that is fairly unique around the state. There's only a handful of accredited institutions, AHARP accredited institutions, and it puts us in the same league as Baylor College of Medicine, UT Austin, Galveston, Houston, San Antonio, the DeBakey VA Medical Center, and another school some of you may have heard of, Texas A&M. But we are definitely playing with the big boys now, and this is something we were very glad to see happen. Again, I won't have time to go into the details, but for the first time, our graduate students are receiving stipend awards from organizations like the American Heart Association and other entities, both inside and outside the state of Texas. Our grant submissions are up. This shows just to a local foundation that we've gone over a few years from submissions as few as 8 to more than double that amount in a short course of time. So the enthusiasm for research is up. Now, the last slide I apologize for. I had wanted to wish you all happy holidays. I asked my secretary if she would paste a little holly onto the slide, and we ended up with this. So I thank you all very much. Good holidays.
Chairman, if I might for just 1 minute. Sure. Dr. Khan has been with us for just over a year and a half. How long have you been here, Michael? Almost 2 years. But
one of the things I'd asked him to do when he got here was to do a couple of things. Number one, survey everything we have going in research areas, and then look at either current things we could do or new things we could do to really shore things up. And he's done an absolutely remarkable job in both those areas. We have, we were developed as an educational institution primarily. And if you look at the research efforts that we've had in the last several years, they've really skyrocketed. And as Dr. Khan said, now we have researchers that are making waves nationally and internationally, and we're very, very proud of the work that is going on at the Health Sciences Center. This is due in large part to the efforts of not only the folks that Dr. Khan introduced, but to Dr. Khan himself.
Great, thank you. Michael?
Greetings. Dr. Mitchell told me after my last meeting if I made any jokes or remarks in his direction, my academic standing would be in jeopardy, so I'll refrain from that today. Additionally, I'm sitting less than 24 hours from shipping out to Kenya for the next 6 weeks, and I have absolutely nothing packed whatsoever, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet so I can go run out of here like a bat out of hell and get that all packed up. On a related note to that, if you have any interosseous needles and or mannequin heads for simulation purposes that you want to donate to me for the trip, feel free to talk with me afterwards. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. I really do enjoy and relish this opportunity. It's certainly been a busy past few months for us, and I'd like to share a little bit about some of the larger initiatives that we've undertaken. In my last report, I mentioned that we were pushing for the conversion of an existing study room into a 24/7 silent study space. I'm happy to report that that's now up and running, thanks to Dr. Mitchell and some of the other deans of the associated schools. It's definitely been really popular with our student body. A lot of our students are desirous of expanded study hours. They're somewhat more nocturnal creatures, and so they like that it's open 24 hours a day, completely silent study space. And thankfully on our end, it has quieted some of the whining on the medical students' behalf. They like to whine a lot, and I'm one of them, so I definitely can associate with that. One of our largest events from this past semester was our Future Healthcare Providers Junior Conference. This is a conference that we hold annually. We hold one for middle school students, and we hold one for high school students. So our middle school one was this past November, and we had over 350 students in attendance, which is exceptional from all of the local schools. That's something that we partnered with SGA, Student Services, and their respective clinical and faculty departments just to showcase the Health Sciences Center, showcase what does a career in the various health professions look like. And that was immensely successful and really highlighted the HSC in a very positive light. Also in November, our SGA hosted our first annual Day of Service, where basically we just partnered with a bunch of local organizations around the city just to get our students out there and involved in the community. So local food banks, local churches that were sending off care packages for our soldiers overseas, a couple of different opportunities along those lines. And we have 50 students, most of whom who were not senators, in attendance. That was definitely a positive aspect that we had there. We're currently in the process of distributing over $80,000 in scholarships as part of our annual SGA Phonathon Scholarship Fund. In addition to that, Monish McKenna, who's right here, is one of our VPs. He started a needs-based scholarship through the Our Legacy Now Foundation, which is a scholarship fund for students who might encounter unforeseen hardships, financial emergencies as part of their educational journey. And so Monish raised over $10,000 this semester, once again through the Our Legacy Now Foundation, and we've already awarded 3 scholarships for students who perhaps their house gets broken into and they lose all of their electronics, but just something that they've already taken out their loan dispersal amounts and they have no means to pay for that, and the award amounts are $200 to $1,500, and we've distributed 4 more by the end of the semester, which is really exciting. Our team of other officers, which also includes Cheyenne Mangold and Terrence Rodriguez, who are not here today, along with the rest of our SGA, have done an exceptional job this year in fundraising for student scholarships. Again, that's a big part of what we do, and so far this semester alone, they've raised over $3,000 for additional scholarships. This past week, we held our annual HSC-wide Christmas party, where basically we get our students out, try to get them out of their study caves for a little bit, partner with Student Services, and throw a pretty nice festive environment party for them over at the Health Sciences Center. All students in attendance have to provide either a canned good or donate to the local food bank, and as part of that, we raised several $100s worth of canned food goods for the local food bank. Our last event, and we mentioned it earlier with the campus carry measure, that's something that's definitely taken up a large percentage of our time this semester. We've wanted to dialogue with our students. We've done that in a number of different mediums, number of different modalities, chiefly being surveys, public forums, and mass communication. It's definitely been interesting seeing some of the feedbacks from those surveys. There's a large degree of misinformation and a large degree of uncertainty with that bill, and we tried to quell that as best we could. I think my personal favorite comment that we received was during a public forum that we had, and someone sitting on the front row, kind of right about here, raised his hand and says, "You know what, I'm fine with this campus carry bill as long as Mike Russell isn't able to carry." And so I look at this individual, and I look him right in the eyes, and I say, "Son," I kind of flex my arm a little bit. I said, "With guns like these, I don't need to be packing heat." And so I think it really quelled a lot of the uncertainty with that. But once again, I want to say serving on this committee has been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed being part of the discussion. And as of this week, we actually did finish up our policy on the HSC's part, and we're shipping it off to President Mitchell for his perusal. So with that, thank you again for allowing me to speak to you this morning. I really appreciate it. Do you have any questions for me at this point in time? Thank you again.
Thank you. Dr. Lang.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to echo what Dr. Mitchell said. Michael Kahn's done a terrific job. He works very well with Peter Rotwin, our head of research as well. They're both from Oregon Health Science Center, by the way, and they've done a remarkable job. So again, Michael, you still here? He's left. Okay. If Peter was here, he wouldn't have left. Okay, Ted? One of the things that's been apparent in my short tenure here, about a year and a half at the Texas Tech University Health Science Center in El Paso, there's been a couple of, I would say, obstacles or hurdles. And every time somebody says, well, how are you doing, based upon what's going on? What I'd say is I'm having the time of my life. And they really aren't obstacles, but they're actually opportunities. It kind of reminds me of the guy who was a sprinter one time and then became a gold medalist hurdler. And at the end of the race, people said, what did you attribute your success to? He said, you know, I used to be afraid of hurdles, but I got over them. So let's talk about some of the hurdles and how we're addressing them. You all are aware that El Paso Children's Hospital went into bankruptcy, and there was some controversy about their relationship with the University Medical Center. And during that entire time, we took the stance that the most important thing that we could do was to continue to provide health care to the children of El Paso, regardless of what that took. And with your blessing, allowing us to run up a little bit of debt while waiting for this to actually resolve itself, we lost one faculty member over a year and a half. We completely filled our pediatric residencies. That has been resolved. The final adjudication has taken place. The final contracts will be signed in early January, and actually they're trying to bring those up to the next couple weeks. And during that entire time, we've done a couple things. One was we built a children's oncology group. During this time where they lost a lot of senior leadership at the executive level, the physicians stepped up to the plate. And what I'm showing you here is just a report. A children's oncology group is a very elite status that is to provide oncology services to children with special needs. What do they ask us to do? That the clinical expertise as well, that we have special protocols for children that aren't responding to chemotherapy, and the follow-up is outstanding. And what you can see is the team was congratulated on an excellent audit. During this time, we continued to do research to advance the pediatric cause. As Michael Kahn said, highlighted, there were several new patents. This is one that was just patented just a couple weeks ago. One of our pediatric orthopedic surgeons, who does primarily pediatric surgery, lengthening limbs for kids that are born with limbs that are too small. In the past, they've had to put an external device with pins and continually lengthening the limbs. This is an internal device with a remote control that allows them to lengthen the limbs. This will decrease infection rate and make it more aesthetically pleasing as well. Our chairman of pediatrics was named to Master of Critical Care Medicine. This is by the Society of Critical Care Medicine. There are only 65 individuals across the United States, only 2 others in the state of Texas. This is our head of pediatrics. So during this tough time, the pediatrics department pulled together and has done a wonderful job. And it's that, by the way, that allowed the two entities to negotiate. And at the end, we'll be paid in full for the services we provide over the last year. With regard to our School of Nursing, when Dr. Novotny and I arrived, Dr. Novotny arrived about 6 months before I did as the dean of the nursing school, we had a passing rate that wasn't acceptable to the nurse accrediting department, or nurse accrediting society. And in fact, they said the passing rate was about 65%. They put us on notice that they wanted it to be 80%. And Jean and I visited about that, and she said, I can do that in 3 years. I said, that's great, we got 6 months. She said, because in 3 years she could recruit new individuals. So let me put it in perspective. It's like taking a losing football team and asking them to go 12-2 the next season. That is an 85% success rate. When it took a comprehensive plan, and I can tell you that it was successful. We just received this letter about a week and a half ago saying, congratulations, your program's approval status will be changed to full approval as of January 21st, next month. Sincerely, Janice Hooper. And by the way, she said they've never seen it as remarkable a turnaround anywhere across the state of Texas as what happened at Texas Tech El Paso. A small obstacle, actually a great opportunity because educational efforts improved. What's happened at the Paul L. Foster School of Medicine? As the chancellor alluded to, we have many individuals that are recognized as the best physicians of across America. Again, I have about 225 faculty. This represents about 10% of my faculty. I want to give a lot of the credit to Ted. I recruited some of these individuals, not most of them. Ted actually recruited most of them. And so I want to lay that at his feet. He did a great job across a number of different specialties as well. Our VA was actually performing worst around the entire country. We had the longest mental health waits across the United States. This is an effort that I joined Ted in. Ted's recognized that the VA, our veterans were not receiving good care here. He's worked tirelessly to improve that care. Based upon what he's done, we worked with our congressmen. We held basically a citywide effort, our institution, And what I want to show you is that they took our proposal, now call it O'Rourke's, the representative proposal, and they're now rolling it out nationally. And what will that do? It creates new partnerships between us and the VA. It created new residency slots, academic appointments to recruited doctors. And we're going to focus on, the VA is going to focus on service-related issues where we're referring all the care out to us in El Paso. They're rolling this out nationally based upon what was done. And again, that started at a meeting that we had here in Lubbock with Ted and the VA leaders here. I had the opportunity to sit for an hour and a half with the Secretary McDonald, to say, if you give me the veterans, give me a year, I promise you I'm going to deliver better care than they're currently receiving, and I'm going to do it for cheaper. And about 2 months later, they rolled out with this plan, so I'm very proud of what happened. As you know, we have a second campus opening up, the Trans Mountain campus. This is in collaboration with Tenet Hospital. On the left-hand side, you see the artist rendition. On the right-hand side, you see the real thing. This is from a webcam from yesterday. The hospital is going up. It's on budget and on time. Just to the left of it is our medical office building, 110,000 square feet. We'll occupy 90,000 square feet of that, add additional 45 to 50 faculty members, and 75 to 90 residency slots. This will increase our teaching for our students as well. In our community, we had a Christmas activity. By the way, I want to acknowledge Victoria, who put the plaques on your desk. This is our motto: excellence is in our DNA. We can't do everything, but everything we do, we're going to do it excellently. That's what we're going to strive for in education, research, and our clinical care as well. The community we live in is very poor. The average income is $17,500. Less than 50% of our population have graduated from high school. Less than 5% have gone to college. Less than 1% have a graduate degree. We're trying to bring our community into our campus to show them.
That's part of his faculty.
That's it. That's just.
I had to do that. He was way out there.
So we've done a number of things. You recruited him.
I can see that coming.
We've done a number of things to bring the community inside. We had a Go and Glow run, in which we had about how many participants? 1,000 participants. 1,000 participants start on our campus, running around at night. We've had Friday night movies free on our campus as well. That event, that Christmas event, was about 600 individuals that appeared on our campus at night for the Christmas tree lighting from our community. Tommy, if you'll cue things up. In the future, if you want to see what goes on, look at Texas Tech Talk. That's a brainchild of Veronique. Veronique, raise your hand. Okay, she takes credit. I want to show you. This is Tech Talk. It comes out every week.
This is Tech Talk HSC El Paso. Hello, I'm Veronique Masterson, and I'm bringing you the sights and sounds of the inaugural Cookies, Cocoa, and Holiday Cheer event right here at TTU HSC El Paso.
So these are kids that are assembling before, as things are setting up. We anticipated having a couple hundred individuals there. The day before the event, we had 250 individuals from outside the campus of community Facebook and said, we're coming.
HB Stage Productions organized the free public holiday light show that drew hundreds of people to the campus.
All right. Now, I've been on the campus with the governor and the lieutenant governor and senators and representatives as well, and I sent it to my granddaughter, and that means absolutely nothing to her. But she knows Frozen. I sent her a picture of myself with Anna and Elsa and Olaf, and I'm a hero right now.
The holiday festivities also included free photo opportunities with Santa and characters from Disney's Frozen.
Now, there was a long line to have pictures made with Santa, and there's some kids that pulled me aside, saw my gray hair, had pictures made with me so they didn't have to wait in line. That's true. These are our medical students. We're trying to sell ourselves as a gem of the community. And our communications and marketing and institutional advancement office is doing a terrific job doing this. And you can see it's great.
TTU El Paso hopes to make this a new holiday tradition. For those who couldn't make it, check out our photos on our Facebook page, facebook.com/TTUHSCEP. Guns up, we'll see you next week.
Great. Thank you, Veronique. every week there's a 2-minute video. I've asked Ben Locke to push that out to you all so you can see what's going on with campus. And for the, finally, I'm going to let Catherine Howard talk about what's going on with the students. Catherine, I'll remind you that last time Michael made some disparaging comments to Ted, and Michael is now spending 6 weeks in Kenya. Okay, I just want to say that.
Yes, please. All right, hi everyone. Great to see you guys again. My name is Catherine Howard. I am the MS2 Student Body President of the Paul L. Foster School of Medicine. And we would like to welcome you once again to El Paso. Those are my shoes there in the bottom corner. I'm Dr. Lang, I promise I study occasionally. So as far as recent events that have been taking place on our campus, every student, in order to graduate, is required to participate in a Scholarly Activities Research Project, or a SART project. Some students fulfill the research requirement over the summer, some draw it out over 2 to 3 years, submit a paper, and present a research poster. So that took place last month. We had over 115 presentations, and out of those, 5 students were awarded scholarships to travel to a national conference to present research. Of course, every single one of those posters has Texas Tech Paul L. Foster School of Medicine stamped across it. So it's great to participate in such research as well as be recognized on the national level. Last time I spoke to you all about one of our student-run clinics in Sparks, Texas, just outside of El Paso. This clinic was recently recognized by the Texas State Legislature. Senator Rodriguez actually came to our campus. There was ABC News coverage, and the leaders, specifically the MS2 leaders, were presented with a proclamation just acknowledging their devotion to border health and the extent to which they participate in preventative care for those who may be uninsured or for those who would otherwise have no access to pap smears or mammograms or ultrasounds. This is one of our several clinics in El Paso, and we're extremely proud of where it's going. Kind of on a different note, last month we had our 7th annual chili cook-off. So this takes place on our campus in the big lunchroom downstairs. We had over 250 tickets sold. The way this works is there are 10 different interest groups that participate, such as cardiology interest group or surgery interest group, as well as one teacher table. Everyone makes 3 crock pots of chili, and oh my gosh, it smelled delicious, it tasted fabulous, and it was a great way to, again, get students out of their study caves and encourage them to participate in just fun and fellowship taking place on campus. Additionally, my picture here is not quite as stunning as Dr. Lang's presentation. However, we did have our first holiday light show on campus. This is a picture of our medical student choir. I believe that this such a light show was taken from a tradition that has been here in Lubbock. And so this is just one of the ways that we've taken a rich tradition that Lubbock has established and brought it to our El Paso campus in order to, once again, like Dr. Lang said, pull the community in, encourage awareness about our campus, and let them know that we're here and that we're there to help them. As far as upcoming events, my MS2 student government has recently started planning our spring formal. We expect over 350 attendees, so essentially that's bigger than my future wedding. So this is a picture taken from last year. We had a photo booth with all kinds of fun props. We just decided to have a masquerade ball theme, so stay tuned for future details. Finally, this is an event about which all of us students are extremely excited. This year we're having our 6th annual Sons Health Fair. Now this is an event that takes place, and there's one day where the community can come out, and we had a rock wall set up last year. We had Zumba classes, free giveaways of bicycle helmets, resistance bands. We did screenings for diabetes, for glaucoma. We give EKGs and do fitness testing. This is a picture from last year of a mother and her son. They won a free gym pass. So this is not just one day where we say, great, come out, be healthy, exercise, and now go home. This is one day where we say, here's your opportunity to learn and to change the rest of your life. It's one thing to see a patient in a clinic with diabetes and to treat them. It's a completely different thing to help ensure that their children will never suffer from diabetes. That's the goal of this health fair. It will take place on February 20th. It takes over 6 months to plan and organize. It's done by the students of Paul L. Foster School of Medicine. So we're really looking forward to it. So I encourage each and every one of you to take the challenge. Support us as we participate in this research, as we advance our medical student-run clinic, and as we continue to foster that family of healthcare here. Take up that challenge just as Dr. Lang, Victoria, and Dr. De La Rosa took the Ice Bucket Challenge this last year. In case you missed that. Dr. Mitchell, no flash photography, please. So I would like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for believing in us out in El Paso. Are there any questions?
I have one. You mentioned there were 5 SARC winners. Were you one of those?
Yes, sir, I was. My project was titled Botox Injections in the Bladder.
Nobody likes a wrinkly
yes,
bladder.
actually, well.
That sounds painful.
Ouch.
If you're suffering from urinary incontinence, it may be the only way to ensure that we can restore your quality of life back to a status that's worth living.
Wow. Very nice.
Thank you.
Catherine, thank you so much. The board will now convene an executive session. Executive session is authorized by Section 551071, 551072, 551073, and 551074, and 551076 of the Texas Government Code. The board will now convene into open session. Regent Montford, please present the motions regarding the items discussed in executive session.
Mr. Chairman, there are 2 action items resulting from executive session. Motion number 1 is I move that the board authorize President May to conclude the negotiations and execute exchanges of title to real properties owned by Angelo State University in the city of San Angelo under the terms and conditions set forth in executive session.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Please continue.
Motion number 2, I move that the board authorize President May to conclude the negotiations and accept the gifts relating to the baseball stadium at Angelo State University, and that the board also approve the following namings connected with these gifts to include the playing surface of the stadium to be named the Lloyd Norris Diamond, and the stadium to be named Foster Field at First Community Credit Union Stadium, with implementation of both of these actions to be in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in executive session.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Please continue.
Mr. Chairman, there is no action of any kind to be taken on the remaining items posted for and discussed in executive session.
Thank you. The final item of business is announcements. Any other announcements, Ben? We're good? There are no announcements, so I would, do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting? So moved. Second? The meeting of the Board of Regents of Texas Tech University System stands adjourned.